Tesla once again shocks the Wall Street, but most importantly, even its biggest fans with record deliveries in Q1. But the biggest news is how they were able to pull it off without their biggest stars. One of our biggest stars and the InsideEVs contributor Tom Moloughney will be here to make sense of it all. All-electric Hummer SUV is unveiled, while the first Hummer EV produced goes for over $2 million above the MSRP. Kia has unveiled Ioniq 5's little brother, the EV6. XPeng Motors showcases its advantages in self-driving tech with their autonomous driving challenge. Rivian follows even more of Tesla's footsteps. Volkswagen's April Fool's Day joke exposes some, well, fools. Lexus unveils another beautiful concept they will never make, and Mercedes has unveiled the spaceship-like interior of its upcoming EQS. All of this is coming up next. Welcome to E4 Electric, your #1 source of electric car scoop. If you are interested in everything that's going on in this amazing world of electric cars, well, all you have to do is click on that subscribe button and the bell notification icon so you don't miss anything moving forward. Let's get to our top story, and I'm starting to wonder, should I start getting used to this weird thing that Tesla's doing where they're under-promising and over-delivering? Because it's been going on for a while now, about a year. So they did it again with their Q1 deliveries, hitting a new record of 184,800 cars delivered compared to the last quarter, the Q4, at 180,000. I should mention that historically, the Q4 usually is the best quarter of the year for Tesla, where the Q1 is usually the worst. But the thing is, they did all of this without their star players, the Model S and Model X. As a matter of fact, they've produced none of them this quarter as they are retooling their production lines for the refresh, and they sold about 2,000 of them out of the inventory left over from the last year. It does make me feel a little sad because I love the Model S and the Model X. I think they're much better cars than the 3 and the Y, but this way, it sounds like Tesla doesn't really need them to be a successful car company. One of the things that did help the delivery numbers, of course, is the ramp up of the Model Y production in Shanghai. Tesla did mention earlier this year that they will be increasing production by about 50% year over year, but it will probably be more in 2021. And with 2 new factories coming online in the next few months, I wouldn't be surprised that the total deliveries for this year will be closer to 1 million cars. The only thing is that Tesla at some point will have to deal with the fact that it will be harder and harder to sell these cars as the demand will even out with the supply, especially with others catching up, with ID4 and Mustang Mach-E having an amazing start to their sales. For more, we turn to the InsideEVs contributor and a happy Tesla owner, Tom Moloughney. But before that, a quick reminder that this video and this channel is sponsored by XPeng Motors. Check out the P7, a beautiful electric sedan I just got to enjoy myself the other week. It is equipped with the X-Pilot 3.0 self-driving tech with navigation-guided autonomous driving feature and even some cool games. More on that later in this video, but for now you can watch my full review on this channel and also check out XPeng Motors on Facebook. Both links are down below. All right, Tom, so let me ask you, are you surprised?
Yeah, I really am. I had been watching what the analysts were predicting, around 160, I think 165, somewhere around there. 184 is a really strong number for Tesla, so, you know, kudos to them.
Now, they've mentioned in their Q4 for last year that they're targeting 500,000 vehicles delivered this year. What do you think it might be once we're done with this year if they're starting it with a bang?
So, you know, anything can happen. Look at with the world last year with coronavirus. Who knows, Alex? But this bodes well, especially that in this next quarter, they're going to be relaunching the refreshed Model S and X. And, you know, it's only going to increase their sales.
Oh, yeah, of course. And now let's talk about the Model S and X. They've pretty much sold nothing this quarter because they're retooling and they're launching the new one. Once they launch, you know, the next month or so, do you think the Model S and Model X sales will be stronger than they were before? Or because of the price increase and maybe the Plaid Plus being pushed to the next year, it will be same as last year?
So I think their sales are going to be increased, especially initially. I think a lot of people want this refresh. But let's wait till Q3 and Q4. Let's see what the numbers are there. I don't think they're going to go up too much, but I do think they're going to go up. Hey, listen, Tesla has to deliver these vehicles, though. I know 2 people that ordered them months ago, and they're about ready to give up now and move on to something else because it's taken so long to get the new refreshed S out.
Yeah, I see people being really impatient in my Model S Facebook group, and some of them are canceling their orders. But every time I think about, Tesla totals for this year, I know Volkswagen, that's on their back, and their goal is to catch up to Tesla in electric cars. They were half of the Tesla sales last year, but ID3 has been outselling or very close to Model 3, especially in Europe. Also, Taycan outsold Model S in Q4. Do you see Volkswagen getting close to total deliveries, this year compared to Tesla?
No, not in 2021. I think the Volkswagen Group will eventually have the opportunity to surpass Tesla, only because there's such a large group with so many different brands, but not 2021, Alex. I don't see it happening.
As always, don't forget to subscribe to Tom's channel. I put the link to it in the description of this video. Let's get to some more news, and the Hummer EV got a little brother. Well, actually, a pretty big brother. It is the Hummer EV SUV. It was unveiled in this video by dropping it from the sky. Damn! Those big and heavy Hummers really do damage our roads. It was unveiled during the NCAA Final Four game, just as I was wrapping up making this video, but sleep is overrated. The SUV has very similar specs to the Hummer EV truck, but it won't come out until 2023, with the cheapest model for under $80,000 until 2024. The Edition 1 starts at $105,595 and was sold out within an hour of the unveiling. It has over 300 miles of EPA range, 830 horsepower, and it does 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. Meanwhile, the first Hummer EV, the pickup, sold for $2.5 million at a charity auction, just a little over its MSRP of $112,595. Let's move on to the next story, and I gotta tell you, I don't even know what an unveiling is anymore, because last week Kia has unveiled some of the images and a few seconds of the video of their new EV6, but this week they had the world premiere where they have unveiled everything else, including the specs, but excluding the price. So I guess the price will have its own unveiling. Nevertheless, it is a sister car to Ioniq 5, built on the same platform with very similar specs, and it's a great addition to the existing Kia EV family, joining Kia Soul EV and Kia Niro EV. Much like the Ioniq 5, it will have 350 kilowatt bidirectional charging, getting you from 10 to 80% in just 18 minutes. The range hasn't really been announced either, but we're talking anywhere between 260 and 270 EPA miles. They will also have a more powerful GT version, going 0 to 60 in just 3.4 seconds. And get this, they got over 21,000 reservations within 24 hours of the unveiling, and that's just in Korea. The EV6 will go on sale in select global markets that will include North America in the second half of this year, and the unannounced but expected price would be around $40,000. Let's talk about XPeng Motors, and yes, I know they are our sponsors, but they also have some cool news. They just had their autonomous driving challenge, and the challenge was for the fleet of their P7s that was driven by the members of the media. And by driven, I mainly mean visually supervised, because most of the 2,200-mile trip was done using XPeng Motors' navigation guided pilot feature. The cars essentially driven themselves from Guangzhou to Beijing. That's essentially 3/4 of the US coast to coast trip, and they have done pretty well with just 0.71 times human driver intervention per 60 miles, or in other words, once per about 85 miles. Now, I was supposed to be on that trip as well, but unfortunately because of the travel restrictions I couldn't. But if I was there once in 85 miles, that's how often I prefer to intervene in my trips, because I drink a lot of tea. They also got some pretty solid numbers for lane changing, the ramp entering and exiting, the tunnel pass-throughs, which is actually pretty important in China. From what I hear, that Tesla Autopilot usually disengages when going through tunnels, but China has a lot of them. Now, when I got to drive P7 here in California, unfortunately, I could not test the self-driving system because that one is only designed and operational in China, but maybe one day. XPeng Motors is also just about to unveil yet another electric car model, and this one, besides all of the hardware that the P7 has for the self-driving right now, it will also use a LiDAR. XPeng Motors sold over 50,000 of electric cars so far. I have talked to Tom Moloughney about the challenges that they've had and facing in the future, and some extra information that he found out from his Chinese sources. I posted that conversation for my premium members. Let's talk about Rivian once again. Last week I reported that Rivian was taking a page out of Tesla's playbook when it came to their best feature as far as I'm concerned, the fast charging network. Rivian has announced theirs, the Adventure Charging Network, and this week they're taking another page out of the same playbook when it comes to after-sales care. So they've announced their own mobile service, the remote diagnostics, 40 service locations built and operational within a year, body shops, and app-based scheduling. It does look like top Rivian service people came from Tesla, while Tesla is actually suing Rivian for poaching employees who allegedly stole stuff from Tesla. But unlike with delivery numbers, Tesla never disappoints or surprises me with the number of lawsuits that they file against their competitors. Rivian has also announced some warranty information for their trucks. It will come with a 5-year, 60,000-mile warranty, the battery and 70% of its capacity, 8 years, 175,000 miles, and the corrosion warranty for 8 years, unlimited miles. The numbers are pretty much the same as Tesla as far as year coverage. However, the mileage is much more, plus the corrosion warranty. Let's move on to Volkswagen, that announced that they were going to change their name next month, and Scott Keogh, the CEO of Volkswagen Group of America and a friend of the channel, has confirmed that. So the new spelling was supposed to start with V-O-L-T. And even though it turned out to be an April Fool's Day joke, I personally thought it would be a great idea just because it would be easier to spell. I mean, have you tried spelling Volkswagen? I mean, even your spell checker goes like, dude, can we just go with VW and make it easy on everyone? But people got really upset with Volkswagen on social media, which never usually happens, right? They were saying how this totally is the same as Dieselgate because it's another lie. And I mean, how many snowflakes and Karens do we have around here? I mean, it's April Fool's Day. If you're upset about it, you're the fool. And by the way, as a Jewish man, to all of you who got upset, shut the hell up. If I'm okay with Volkswagen in 2021, you should be too. But I have to say that out of all car manufacturers' April Fool's Day jokes, I like the BMWs the most because they've suggested to their customers that they will be removing the blinkers from the future models. Now, last week, our top story was about how Toyota doesn't really want to make electric cars, and this week, Toyota proved to us that they still don't, but they love making the electric car graphics. So they have unveiled the LFZ electrified concept, not to go in production really, but to kind of give you an idea what to expect from Lexus in 2025. If Lexus is going to go this route, then what I would expect from Lexus in 2025 is to be very close to bankruptcy. But I have to say, as always, I absolutely love Lexus design, so kudos to their Academy of Art College interns. Absolutely gorgeous. Also, this week, Mercedes-Benz had one of those non-revealing reveals, and this time they have unveiled the interior of their upcoming EQS. If you have been watching my channel for a while, you probably know that I'm absolutely in love with the EQS vision concept. As a matter of fact, it is right there in my intro. The full reveal will be on April 15th because, you know, when you are done doing your taxes, you want to celebrate by checking out one of the most gorgeous electric cars on the planet. Well, maybe I'm a little ahead of myself because we don't know what it's going to look like on the outside, but now we do know what it's going to look like on the inside, and it is indeed gorgeous. The centerpiece of the EQS interior, of course, is its huge screen on its dashboard. As a matter of fact, the dashboard will come in two versions. The first one, of course, is with the curved hyperscreen that spans all the way across the dashboard, and the other one is for people who have no soul. It is also supposed to have a pretty impressive range with over 400 estimated EPA miles on 107.8 kilowatt-hour usable battery with 113 kilowatt-hours total with 200 kilowatt fast charging. The deliveries will start later this year, and this will probably become the future flagship vehicle of the Mercedes-Benz brand. Before you go, don't forget to become a premium member so you can check out my interview with Tom Moloughney about XPeng Motors' autonomous driving challenge and many other exclusive videos and materials that I post for my premium members. And of course, thank you so much for supporting my channel, alright? Looking forward to all of your comments. Other than that, see you guys next time, and remember to stay charged.